Ladies and gentlemen, I need for you to put your screen on full view. Please put your screen on full view. This is Ebony Man 2K, aka That Jolly Rancher, aka Pretty Ricky, what they call me, and aka the King of Receipts. I welcome you to my channel with the same name. I would like to send a shout out to my new subs who may have heard about me from other fellow YouTubers. I welcome you and you are going to enjoy yourselves here. I want to send a special shout out to my loyal day ones who have upgraded their membership and got their badges and or have supported my efforts via Super Chat and Cash App and PayPal. And lastly, shout out to my shadow watchers who listen to me from the bushes or up in the clouds. I understand you may be cooking, driving, working out, or at work, and I appreciate that you're at least here kicking it with me. If you're away from your phone, computer, or laptop, and you're liking what I do while multitasking, I ask that you send a small super chat or Cash App donation during the premiere or while watching the playback to let me and the chat room know that you're here and you're rocking with us. The super chat button is in the chat room right under the chat room window. And my Cash App handle is $EBMN2K. That's $EBMN2K. This show of appreciation will go a long way in inspiring me to continue teaching and entertaining others on this YouTube channel. Now, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and set that notification bell to all. Again, this is Ebony Man 2K, and I welcome you, and I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Peace. Also, I would like to send a special shout out to Shakira 2K's besties, Kylie Jenner, Sophia Richie, and Kaya Gerber. Well, all right, let's get it. This is Ebony Man 2K, aka That Jolly Rancher, aka Pretty Ricky, what they call him, and aka the King of Receipts. My people, in all full disclosure, this YouTube channel is not my first rodeo in regards to being a content creator on social media. I actually had a community board back in the day in the early 2000s that featured multiple categories by topic. I had my own topics, and I allowed certain moderators to host their own forum within my community board. I had a news forum, a business forum, and my most popular forum was called The List. The List was a compilation of all the upcoming hot events coming to Atlanta over the next weeks. While living in Atlanta almost every Thursday, I would get a call from a friend or a family member asking me what's going on in the A this weekend. I'm coming through. Now, a lot of times I didn't know, and I had to make calls and do a little research. After a while, I got good at it and decided to document my findings and add it as a form to my community board and email blast. After a while, y'all, I had that candy, yo. I had that candy. I pretty much had a one-pager summarizing all the upcoming events in Atlanta by date and a listing of all the hot clubs and their featured themes or activity by the day of the week. Oh, I was thorough. I was thorough. If you were not on my list, you were not doing nothing in the AO. You weren't doing nothing. If you wanted to get popping in these ATL streets, you had to get by Ebony Man 2K and get approved. And that's real talk. Now, another popular forum on my community board was the poetry forum. I had a moderator who wanted to create it, and she did just that. She had the poem slash spoken word session popping on my website. That shit grew in so many ways. She added an erotica session that attracted a lot of creative weirdos. She also added a storytelling section similar to R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet series, where one person would start a story with, maybe three or four paragraphs, and then someone else would pick up the story where the other left off and add their three paragraphs. Man, do you know they kept that shit going for like over a month with like 30 people? The shit was so entertaining because you can tell that they were competing with each other on how far left they could take the story. Y'all, this was my own website, and they had me in suspense on what was going to happen next. So, like I said, my community board had two popping forums, one called The List with upcoming events in Atlanta, and another one in the Poetry Spoken Forum. So now I'm digging this as a cool online recreational piece. But y'all know me. I was curious as to how this could play out as a legitimate business opportunity offline in the form of an open mic series. Now, I had the connections offline through my list of events information that I was putting together weekly. Plus, I had an online base of customers who were lovers of poetry and spoken word from my website. Then, at the time, I was seeing Russell Simmons producing his Def Jam poetry shows on HBO. He would get on stage, say just a few couple words, then walk off the stage with all the money. I was like, shit, I could do that. So, you know what? I did just that. In the summer of 2004, I created an open mic series in Atlanta called The Cypher. Now, before I started my show, I had to do my homework. I frequented other poetry open mics in Atlanta to network with the major players and to get a feel for the nature of the art and the business. One spot I visited often was called the Yin Yang in Midtown. It was a little hole in the wall spot with great wings and a good vibe of talented artists like John Good, Georgia Me, Abyss, and Tommy Bottoms. Also, you didn't know what big time artists may just pop in to bless the audience with an open mic surprise. I have watched Peebo Bryson, India Ari, Donnie, and Flority perform at this cafe after paying just a $5 entry fee, y'all. Now, while networking, I decided to recruit two artists to serve as hosts for my show. One artist was a guy with a stage name Last Forever, and the other one was a woman by the stage name Queen Nikki. Both had great personalities. I decided to work with both of them because I knew that they were going to friendly compete with each other to bring out their best in making a great open mic show. Once I got the right people lined up and I found a decent spot to host, I kicked off my spoken word open mic in Atlanta. Now, in the beginning, there was some good and some bad. On one hand, I had a good turnout, but on the other hand, I had high overhead expenses. I eventually had to back out the DJ and replace him with a mixtape that I put on loop. To reduce upfront expenses, one of my hosts agreed to forego his pay up front for a higher negotiated pay later. And the other host agreed to reduce their pay in half and spill a shrimp platter with me after every show, y'all. No lie, this spot shrimp platter was just that good, y'all. It was just that good. But more importantly, you can see that both of my hosts were good people and we had each other's back and each other's best interests at heart. One of my favorite artists that participated in my open mics was a guy by the name of Tommy Bottoms. I related to him because, like me, he was an educated brother who had street game, but more importantly, he always questioned the system and spoke truth to power in his material. I came across his YouTube channel that seems dormant, but I wanted to share with you a couple of audio clips that are profound, even though he spoke them over a decade ago. One performance talks about the manipulation of the judicial system in regards to crime. Two other pieces speak about the manipulation performed by major media. And the last one talks about slavery and the parallels of the prison industrial complex. Now, make sure you listen to his message closely, even if you have to play it multiple times. This brother is very deep and quick witted, so you have to really pay attention to what he's saying. Tommy Bottoms, if you're out there listening, consider this to be a show of appreciation of your work, bro. Peace.
9 to 5 grind just be weighing heavy on my mind. Cause see, them 2 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunches don't be enough. So when I go home, I'll be ready to relax my dome and unwind and let my mind release by burning some green trees wrapped in a brown leaf. So on my way home to the crib, I hit the weed spot, give me a $20 bag of that gunfire, and hit the liquor store, get a box of Phillies and 2 tall cans of Budweiser. Then one day I'm sitting at the crib smoking a spliff, sipping my brews, and I happen to be flipping past the Embassy Nightly News, and I see this police chief giving some speech about he setting up some crime task force committee to help crack down on crime in the city. And at the end of his little soliloquy, he had the nerve to say that he want to send a message out to the people that crime don't pay. Now that's a bunch of bullshit. Because not only is it cliche to say that crime don't pay, but that's like a 400-pound fat man trying to jump a fence. It just doesn't make sense. See, crime is big business. Just look how many people who are employed by the judicial system. From the COs to the POs to the prosecuting attorneys to the bailiffs who guard the juries, the courtroom stenographer, the crime scene photographer, the 911 dispatcher, the fire clerks, the phone tappers, and can't forget about the forensic science to do the lab test, the people who manufacture the bulletproof vest, the ATF, the FBI, and the DEA. And if crime would have stopped tomorrow, all these people would be out of work the very next day. See, crime is just as important to the economy as any other commodity. See, when the crime rate does go down, how often does the police department lay off some of his officers? See, since crime is big business, they just get the politicians to create more laws to create more criminals. So they come up with some little slick shit like a seatbelt law with a cute catchphrase like click or the ticket and claim they want to save lives. But the truth is, they just want to get off in the nigga business, see what he's doing off in his ride. You know, hopefully they catch him riding dirty with some weed, stashed in seats, around with a suspended license, doing a little drinking and driving. But if you really want to cut down on drinking and driving, then why isn't it required that you have to take a breathalyzer before you leave the bar or the club? Because see, they're ready for you to get off in the streets and have to deal with the police, and that's how they maintain their job security. And these correctional facilities turning niggas into modern-day slaves, they paying them way below the minimum wage. So they pay a prisoner 15 cents an hour to press out your license plates. But when you go to the DMV, it costs you $200 or $300 for them exact same license plates. So don't tell me that crime don't pay, because every other day they shut down school because of city budget cuts. But when was the last time you heard of a prison going bankrupt? Then they got these fucked up cocaine laws where they give you 2 years for powder and 10 years for rock. But the truth is, they don't ever want to see the dope game stop. Because see, a drug is a drug, whether it's crack or Prozac. They got these little children addicted to Ritalin, but you never see no pharmaceutical company being portrayed as no villain. I mean, what if they made all the legal drugs illegal? You had niggas making rap videos about how they stand on the corner slinging nicotine patches and serving up 8 balls of Demerol and slinging keys of Viagra all the way to Florida to Alaska. But see, that's never gonna happen. Because see, rich white folks have never allowed themselves to be given the same status as some ghetto crack addict. See, prisons are built for the poor and uneducated. That's why they represent more than 90% of the population that's incarcerated. See, half of them don't care they slaves, the other half don't know. So prison just becomes a revolving door for the unskilled and the poor, which just creates more job security for the CEOs, the wardens, and the criminal defense lawyers. And even the district attorney got his hand inside the cake, prosecuting cases of people he know are innocent just to get them caught up in the system. Because see, prison is big business. There's more people in prison in America than anywhere else in the world, yet this is supposed to be the land of the free. See, can't nobody tell me that crime don't pay. I mean, what if you're a criminal defense lawyer, you make 6 figures a year, do you really want to see crime go away? Hell no. You'd rather see people living in poverty because poverty breeds crime. And the more crime means the bigger the house, the bigger the boat, and the better the Rolex watch. And while their kids get to go off to college, poor kids go off to the school of hard knocks. Now, I'm all about peace, but fuck the police, and especially chief of police in this bullshit speech about how crime don't pay. Because pretty soon there won't be nobody left to lock up, then what? You just left with a fucked up nation, the police all patrolling one big plantation, everybody just sitting around waiting for another Emancipation Proclamation like it's 1863. See, everything I see leads me to believe that there's a very thin line between breaking the law and being the law, because see, laws are made to be broken. So you can't tell me some of these judicial officials, they secretly hoping that niggas don't open up their eyes and realize that the only way to beat the system is to stay out of the system. So I'm no longer giving them shit. I'm gonna make sure I stay legit, because I don't belong in no prison. So the next time a cop pulls me over, I better tell him to suck on these 9 inches and get fucked with no foreplay, because I understand the game and I know that crime pays, and I know this the land of the thief and the home and the slave, and I know America got 1,000,001 ways to get paid. So the last thing I'm trying to hear is a motherfucker tell me that crime don't pay. Man, they write history books about crooks, from Jesse James to John Dillinger. Man, they was notorious gunslingers. And when John Gotti died, they marched him through the city like he was some type of slain world leader. And these drug dealers go out and buy Mercedes and Lexus, but nobody ever asked Mercedes and Lexus to forfeit 20% of their profit, because 20% of their product was bought with drug money. They don't give a shit where the money comes from. Just keep it coming. That's how the economy works. Buying and selling. So it doesn't matter if it comes from a college graduate or a two-time felon. So Mr. Chief of Police, I have to disagree with your bullshit speech that crime don't pay. Because if no people no longer sell dope, steal, and rob, your ass will be out of a fucking job. And I'll bet you change what you got to say, because you already know that crime definitely pays. Peace on that, y'all. You sure? I know this is for TV. I shouldn't be up here drinking, man. But they'll edit it out later, maybe. You put a blur in front of it or something. You know what I mean? I just stand here like this. No, it ain't. I'm going to just do 2 very long poems, so just hang in there with me. I'm going to tell you off the rip. They long as hell. And I'm going to take my time, you know what I mean? Because, shit, when you go to work, you don't start as soon as you get there, you know what I'm saying? So, chill a little bit too. Alright. When I say ladies and you say gentlemen, ladies and, when I say ladies and you say gentlemen, ladies and, now I ain't never needed a pen and the paper to paint a perfect picture, but I can still give you a vivid description of what I'm spitting just over some raw talent and good diction. So look, ladies and gentlemen, play close attention and listen as I give you a quick description how the media big pimping, rely on the people's ignorance, decrease their profits, their revenues, and stockholder dividends, because they all about them Benjamins, baby. So look, ladies and gentlemen, most of these rappers cannot get major record label backing unless they can market themselves as being murderers or drug traffickers. But I'm going to go ahead and drop the news on most of these dudes, because see, most of these rappers are just actors. See, selling dime bags of weed on your mama's front porch does not really qualify you as being a drug lord. But see, these children, they mostly looking and not listening. So they're not really paying attention to the fact that most of these rappers are just pretending. See, all they see is the diamonds glistening, the rims spinning, so the inner city children go up. Then the only way to get rich is through rapping or drug dealing. So look, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call class warfare. And the name of the game is to profit off of other people's pain. That's why you can slang in your white tee, bang in your white tee, kill 12 people, just do it over tight beats. See, the object is to keep the mass of the people dumb, so they hypnotize the young with the sound of the drum. See, these record labels, they're no longer looking for MCs. They just looking for a rapper with a tight beat and a rap sheet and an entourage that can pack heat. That's because the hottest rapper in the street is the rapper with the most beef. So keep them hooks simple, don't say nothing too deep. And that's when the record label radio station step in and pretend that they got to defend the rapper's right to freedom of speech. So they allow you to say whatever hell you want, as long as you don't say nothing bad about Jewish people and fags. Because see, those are the main decision makers, those radio stations and major record labels. I mean, what you think would happen if Snoop Dogg started rapping about shooting some Jewish guy in the eye in a drive-by, then kidnapping the rabbi and getting him high to try to convince him that the Holocaust is a lie? Snoop Dogg can definitely kiss his career bye-bye. And that's on the for shizzle, my nizzle. But them exact same people in power quick to bite their tongue when it comes to glorifying the horrifying lifestyles of the inner city slums. They have no problem telling your kids to get rich or die trying. They ain't nothing unless they rockin' platinum and diamonds. Convincing the children that it's cool to be a villain, cause real niggas do real things and they scared to go to prison. And look, ladies and gentlemen, this is the very ignorance of the radio station is spinning and making and killing all of a sudden your children. But all actuality, that is just the microcosm of a much larger problem. See, all the major media that you see, from radio to TV, is actually all controlled by like 4 or 5 companies, which means if you have not learned to think for yourself, your very view of the world that you're living in is actually controlled by somebody else's opinion. See, the corporate elite, they have a vested interest in keeping the average American citizen at a certain level of ignorance. See, the less educated you are, the less they have to pay you to perform low-level jobs. So they already know everybody's not going to grow to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a CEO. Because if everybody making CEO dough, then who gonna clean the toilets, flip the burgers, and scrub the floors? See, capitalism is a machine, which means somebody gotta be the oil. So the purpose of the media is to kind of keep the people passive and constantly feed the people's addiction for television. That way you never had to worry about a question in the system. And to maintain that status quo, they make sure the people get healthy doses of videos, talk shows, and reality TV. And if you're old as me, you remember when TV talk shows used to actually tackle tough topics. But now they just been dumbed down to getting a paternity test to see who's the baby's father. And the object is to keep your mind idle. That's why it's no coincidence that the most popular show on TV is American Idol. Because of idle mind, the devil's workshop, where they constantly build bigger and better TVs, increase the amount of TV that you watch. And since you want to cop everything you see on TV, you work a job you don't like to buy shit you don't need. Cause you constantly trying to keep up with them Joneses, them Sean Puffy Combses. You got folk who make 80 grand a year, but they 2 checks from being homeless. So look, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason television exists is to sell you shit. Why you think a 30-minute TV show has 15 minutes worth of commercials? That's because the commercials are the main attraction. The actual TV show itself is just there as a distraction to keep you watching just long enough to pinpoint your demographic and your particular spending habit. Do not think it was no accident that they got you to convert from the cash to the plastic. Now they can always electronically track your every purchase. Not that your life means anything. It's just good for market research. And I know the truth hurts, but whether you like it or not, we have all become proud citizens of the United States of big business, because this is America, y'all. Land of the pimps, home of the hustlers, where nobody's really a citizen, just a potential customer. And the national motto is F you, pay me, because they all about them Benjamins, baby. Alright, this is for all the people to be like, man, every time I see you, Tom, you got a drink in your hand. Well, there you go. Buy me one next time, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Alright, there's some drinkers in here. I'm the only one. Bartender, is the other drinkers in here? Oh, okay. Like 1 or 2? Okay. This is for the 1 or 2 other people. You gonna drink with me? Alright, that's what's up. You probably gonna want to do more than drink, man. You know what I'm saying? I do that too, though. I do that too. I ain't even gotta say what it is. Could be anything. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Now they tried to make me go to rehab. I said, I knew it was a couple more drinkers up in here. You know what I'm talking about? I knew. Stop playing. All right. Now, when it comes to the ability to combine thought-provoking concepts in a rhyme, Tommy Bottoms is way ahead of his time. So, in celebration of my greatness, from time to time, I typically have a taste of tequila as a toast to my talent for telling the truth. But in the process of putting together all these dope double entendres, dropping some heavy shit for your medulla oblongata, Tommy Bottoms is getting some static. You know what I mean? Tommy Bottoms has developed a slight drinking problem. But I'm not just a heavy drinker. See, I'm a heavy thinker. So I marinate my mind in some barley and hops and I jump off into some deep thought. See, I'm an inebriated genius with a Jose Cuervo flow. Call me the Black Al Capone, because I'm a modern day wordplay bootlegger and I ain't looking to dry out. See, I smuggled all my rhymes across that Mason-Dixon line. Now they call me the new mouth of the South. See, I am a socially conscious alcoholic. I keep up on current issues and worldviews over a couple of cold brews. And then I put together my pure thoughts in the form of a poem and present the people with my particular point of view. So if doing damage to my liver helps the people become better thinkers, then baby, bring on the cirrhosis. Because my soul is so ferocious, man, fuck some rehab, and I ain't looking for no AA. Because if I can get 20 million citizens to wake up and pay attention and listen to this bullshit double talk that these politicians be spitting, then death is a small price to pay. Because I am a drunken political pundit. No need to call a politician a pimp, because that just sounds redundant. But what I will say is, regardless if you're a Republican or a Democrat, politics is just a game, and all politics is lie, and they act like they on different teams, but believe they on the same side. And the reason why is because a politician's primary objective is to get reelected. So they'll say whatever they gotta say in order to survive, do whatever it takes to keep their career in politics alive. But there's no need to worry. You can see these big corporations, the special interests, are doing everything possible to make sure y'all get the best government money can buy. How else you think these politicians can afford to dress so fly? They out here balling on the campaign trail, popping bottles of champagne, eating lobster tail, living rock star lifestyles, having domestic policy orgies in the Oval Office, fucking you right in the face because you refuse to see the obvious. And the reason you don't notice the distortion because they got you sidetracked and distracted with polarizing issues like gay marriage and abortion. So while y'all run around here protesting, debating whether it's a woman's right to choose or whether Gary can marry Larry or Sherry can marry Linda, the job you had for the last 10 years just got shipped off to India. But I know you don't want to put your trust in no drunk. It's all right. Ain't no need to listen to me. Just keep on listening to them gangsters in the mafia. Excuse me. Those gangsters in the media. See, they be pumping you so full of fear, got you believing everything they feeding you. Like them dudes at Fox News. They just gangsters in blue suits. Got you so scared to death that you're ready to call the coroner. They got you believing there's a terrorist and a child predator standing on every single corner who can't wait to have sex with your young little daughter. But it's just like those Bill O'Reilly types. They always ready to declare war on something where they ain't never been in a fight. Just up there bumping his lips together like two Frisco dykes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Now, excuse me for my rudeness and my crudeness. See, I'm just up here rhyming under the influence, but I'm never too intoxicated to get behind the wheel of your mind. I would drive a point all the way home, have y'all thinking outside the lines. So before you start yelling fuck Bush, make sure you put on a rubber. Because the government and the media are in an open relationship with each other. And before I go any further, I need everybody to flag down the closest waitress, because I'm about to give everybody a shot of truth, straight up with no chaser. Now listen. The American media is the fourth branch of the government, and the important role that they play is the kind to keep the people in check and completely all balanced. That way the other three branches can do whatever they want to do, remain relatively unchallenged. That's because the American public is only concerned about the next celebrity scandal or the next high-profile murder case or the latest LAPD high-speed car chase. And while you sidetracked and distracted with all that, your government just passed the Patriot Act. Now your phones is getting tapped, but they pumped you so full of fear, you don't see nothing wrong with that. That's because the media and the politicians have sold y'all on the slogan that Americans love their freedom. And that is the ultimate lie. Because Americans don't love freedom. Americans love to be pacified. Because all you need is an Xbox and an iPod, a laptop, and a credit card. American Idol on Wednesday, Starbucks to Cold Ridge. And you know we need our DVDs, cable TV on the big screen, ABC, NBC, BET, and MTV. Who really needs civil liberties when you got ringtones on your phone and PlayStation 3? See, you didn't all drink from the Kool-Aid, so now you become addicted to all these technology trinkets. You ain't nothing but a go-go gadget savage. You used to like having sex on the beach. Now you just surf the web for head. Look at the log on with a lovely lady who's looking to have a couple of BlackBerry babies. But it's your lust for all these electronic lovers is the reason why you no longer have to worry about the watchful eye of Big Brother. So they put cameras on all our cell phones. So now we just out here watching each other. Nigga, that's gangster. But it is time for the watch to become the watchers. You got to start paying attention how these politicians and media moguls be moving like mobsters. Stop thinking that the Bloods and the Crips got some beef. Real gangster shit go down between Madison Avenue and K Street. And I know some of y'all probably think, man, this nigga drink way too much. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. But that's cool. Because see, the difference between me and most of you is I can always say I'm too drunk to notice the government abuse. But most of y'all sitting in here bone dry sober. Your government still getting over. So tell me what exactly is your excuse. But it's the Black Al Capone, the new mouth of the South. I'm about ready to sign out because I'm about to ride out the Waffle House. Go get me something to eat. But before I leave, I need a little more time to think. So bartender, go and hook me up with another goddamn drink. Yeah. Now my primary purpose in poetry is to tick some people off. So I'm hoping somebody get offended with these words that I'm spitting. That way I know I'm doing my job. Because when it comes to this mic game, I ain't got time to play. So you won't hear no raunchy talk about how I make the coochie pop, my AK spray. Got way too many other things I need to say. Because I'm the new millennium field nigga with the article to Kente. I'm the runaway slave that got away. Told master to get up off my tip and where he can stick his resume and his 401k. I know 401 other ways to get paid. So never allow nobody ever to lead you to believe that they ever bought a slavery. Because basically, the business of slavery is way too profitable for it to ever be stoppable. See, America simply reinvented the definition of slavery by really taking race out of the equation in order to increase the size of their plantation. So now, regardless of your ethnic or racial persuasion or your religious affiliation, every one of you now have the opportunity to work on master's plantation. Because anybody that works a job that pays them anything that close to minimum wage can go ahead and consider themselves a slave. See, the biggest misconception with slavery is that the slaves ain't get paid, that the slaves ain't get a paycheck. They definitely got paid, so they got the leftover food. Their master didn't want to consume, a few clothes and a place to stay. And that's exactly what you get with minimum wage. You get just enough sustenance to give you the guts to get up and do it again the next day. 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and every other Sunday. And master no longer got to beat the slaves to make them behave. Now they just dock your pay or mess with your sick days or put you on that 12 to 6 graveyard shift. Got you busting your back from dusk to dawn, but you still don't have a phone and can barely keep your lights on. So in order for those little extra crumbs of life, sometimes the slave the fourth to resort to commit petty crimes. You see, those slaves lived back in the day. Not only were they brave, but they had to live bold, because whenever that weather got blistering cold, those same slaves had to break into master's home and steal warm blankets and extra clothes. And that's the very reason why, this very day and time, they still associate black people with crime, which brings me to the 13th Amendment, where clearly mentions that slavery was the boss for all persons except for those convicted of a crime. So plantations become penitentiaries or correctional facilities where the state pays the inmate 8 cents an hour, provides them with food, clothes, and a shower, a place to stay. And that's when the warden forces that prison to produce products that the state turns right back around and sells in the open market. That's slavery 101, baby, regardless of what you want to call it. I mean, what if all these Walmart stores existed back in the year 1712? Who in the hell you think would have been working the cash registers and stocking the shelves? See, it doesn't matter if you're just a prisoner pressing out license plates in the prison system, or just some burger flipping, tomato picking Mexican immigrant, or just some auto factory worker working up in Flint, Michigan. Slavery is the heartbeat of capitalism, and capitalism is the beast that don't sleep. That's why there's cocaine on every corner and 24-hour TV. Now I was blessed with the ability to hobnob, to have, but see I was raised on ham hocks. So I make sure I use my gift of gab and speak on behalf of the have-nots. And some of you choose to be confused whether or not you a have-not or a have, so let me give you a clue. If you've ever complained about the price of a gallon of gas, trust me, you are not one of the haves. Cause see, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, America's in the middle of its second civil war, rich versus poor, and I'm a have-not with a sword, prepared to put my mind in the rhyme for the front line of this war against the poor. Cause see, when you're a billionaire, they call it a bailout. But when you broke, it's a handout, it's on WIC EBT. Book welfare by another name is still government cheese. Allow me break it down if you please. Now I'm saying I've got a program called agricultural subsidies, fancy name for government cheese or welfare for the wealthy. Now I won't get long with it with a definition, we'll keep it simple, color price fixing. Now these agricultural subsidies, while Burger King and Mickey D can sell you a 99-cent double cheese, giving free real fills on Pepsi, when they know damn well it ain't healthy. In the FDA, they know the truth, that dollar menu gon' kill you, and they lie to you, they don't tell you that fast food is just slave food. Cause see, ain't no difference between chicken McNuggets and chitlins. It's simply low quality food, produced specifically for the poverty stricken, not to mention the middle class just busting their ass looking for something quicker, the most affordable to feed their children. And if you take the time to look at the bigger picture, you will see why the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting sicker. That's why you got 90-year-olds who battle obesity, ADD, 30 years later it's heart disease and diabetes. But what you gonna do when your family 5, 2-parent home working 9 to 5, just trying to survive? And the wife check don't come to the end of the week, and that car need a new starter, and them kids still gotta eat. Well, that dollar menu looking good to you, or what if you a baby mama even divorced, a single mother having no child support? Well, that dollar menu looking good to you, cause you can feed the whole crew with the 2 for 2. And don't claim to be the smartest guy in the room, but I can tell you this, the CEO of Mickey D's ain't feeding his family no Mickey D's. And yes indeed, Big Macs made him rich, but they ain't about to eat that shit.
This is Everyday Man 2K, and coming up next is a spoken word piece by Tommy Bottoms called Pimpin' Ain't Easy. Listen, I consider this piece to be a masterpiece. Make sure you turn your volume up and listen to every word he says because you don't want to miss it. This piece called Pimpin' Ain't Easy draws an analogy between preachers and pimps. Again, this spoken word piece draws an analogy between preachers and pimps. Again, make sure you turn your volume up and listen to every word he's saying because you don't want to miss his message. All right, let's get it. Tommy Bottoms, Pimpin' Ain't Easy.
Who said that pimpin' ain't easy? Check out that pimp right there in the pinstripe Versace suit with the Gucci belt and the 3-quarter gator boots. Straight up pimp with a pocket full of loot and a black dive hat to matching. Since he's a pimp, he's riding around in a pimped out Cadillac, sitting on some 20-inch rims. And even though he a pimp, he's still gon' please his main squeeze. So you know she ride no less than a Benz. Check out the pimp with the platinum cross around his neck. His wrist is frostbit from all the ice on his Rolex. See, this ain't no ordinary pimp. See, this one claims to be a teaching. Matter of fact, this pimp is a motherfucking preacher, pimping his congregation like a dope fiend hoe. But most of them don't even know, cause half of them only showed up to participate in the fashion show. All up in the pulpit, just feeding the people some lies. This slick talking motherfucker ain't had a job since 1985. Always talking about the building fund needs some money, but he must take me for some type of fucking dummy. Cause while he pulling down 6 figures and got a house out in the suburbs, I can barely afford to pay attention. And not to mention he out here pimping some of these senior citizens, got them dipping into their hard-earned pensions. That's why it just makes me wanna holler when I see a cat like Creflo Dollar all on TV, act like he's some type of theology scholar, talking about he can sell your salvation for 3 easy installments of $359.99, and for extra $50 to throw in a nice bottle of wine so you can have a toast with the Holy Ghost. But if you wanna break bread with the Father, well, that's gonna cost you an extra $100. Well, excuse me, Mr. Preacher Man, what if I can't afford your payment plan. Am I destined to eternity and fire and brimstone? Should I run out now, go get myself another loan? Cause Lord knows I wanna go to heaven, but you're asking me for $20 up front and I'm holding on to my last $7. I just hope there's an ATM machine in heaven, or maybe God would accept my post-dated check. But in the meantime, I guess I just have to hope and pray that I die on payday. Cause Lord knows I don't wanna bounce a check to God to be my luck. I get to the pearly gates and there'll be $100 cover charge, and I'm already over the limit on my credit card now. Don't you think it's kinda strange and kinda odd how some of these preachers don't even have a real job, yet they're hell getting rich off of selling the word of God? It didn't even cost them a nickel. See, that's big pimping on a whole nother level. They do it without no conscience and don't even feel sleazy. Well, somebody please tell me who in the hell said that pimping ain't easy, cause it must not be hard. Cause a lot of these pimps out here got people disillusioned about God. See, building a big fancy church with a big fancy steeples, like building a golden calf. God is not in the church, God is in the people, and looking for God in all the wrong places is just another form of evil. See, a church ain't nothing but dirt and bricks, and if a church was never built, God would still exist. See, we got to beware of the false prophets, especially the ones that got the short arms and deep pockets. We got to use our vision beyond the eye socket. So open up your minds and close your wallets, cause God ain't got nothing to do with money or religion. See, Jesus was young, poor, and black, and if he was alive in America today, they be treating him just like that. As a matter of fact, these white folks wouldn't just showing him no love. They be probably refer to Jesus as a thug, and our own women probably be calling him a scrub, cause he wouldn't be riding around an old school drop top sitting on some doves. If Jesus come back to save his children, what make you think he can do it in the Eddie Bauer expedition? See, if Jesus walked amongst the common people, the poor and poverty-stricken people, when Jesus died on the cross, he died next to two criminals, which means that the Roman people saw Jesus as a criminal and guilty of no crime, but still forced to die way ahead of his time. And I bet if Jesus come back now, he liable to carry the 9, cause he gonna remember how white folks treated him last time. See, Jesus was a revolutionary, a man of ideas. God don't care about your bank account or how much money you give, cause money's the root of all evil. What make you think that God could appreciate $350,000 stained glass windows? You ain't got to go to church to have church, cause we having church right now. As long as I can stay in control of my mind, body, and soul, my spirit gon' rise like a bird on the telephone pole. I talk to God every day about the sunshine and the rain, about my joys and my pain, and I never once heard him complain about how come I ain't giving up 10% of my income, cause he already know that the government taking 25%, plus I got food, utilities, and rent. By the time I cash my check, my money's already spent, and I just ain't got time to be paying off no pimp. So as long as people believe that the bigger they donation, the closer they are to God, a pimp gon' keep on pimping. So I'm gonna ask this question one more time before I end this rhyme, and it might sound sleazy, but somebody please tell me who in the fuck said that pimping ain't easy.
Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Oh, pimpin' ain't easy. Oh,
This is Everyday Man 2K, aka that Jolly Rancher, aka Pretty Ricky, what they call me, and aka that dude who be having the receipts. Before we begin, the membership program for my channel has been approved by YouTube and has been added with PayPal and Cash App as another option to express your support for me and this channel. I ask that you go ahead and join today and make yourself an official Day 1 member of Everyday Man 2K. There is a join button on the homepage and links in the description box and at the top of my comments section. You will get an official members only badge, and I will be adding exclusives from time to time for you to access as a members only participant. Now, the price that I set is reasonable, and it's less than a 2-piece dinner from Popeyes, especially if you get the strawberry drink. So, go ahead and join, get your badge, and make them haters start crying like a baby. You know how they do. Wah, 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 wah. Why you like Ebony Man? Wah, wah, wah. We don't want you to like Ebony Man. Wah, wah, wah. And you take that badge and say, look, I rock with Ebony Man 2K the long way. Because not only is he funny to me, but that brother is thorough and he be on point with his presentations, especially with his receipts. So you either get with the program or you get to stepping and go kick a can down the street, because that would be a better use of your time than you trying to convince me to go against Ebony Man 2K. I got Ebony Man 2K's back 100%. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the main purpose of membership. It is to bear witness to the public that we are going to enjoy ourselves on this channel. And we got each other's back 100%. Okay, let's get it, y'all.